being defined as age 55 and up. And this was from the Juneau Commission on Aging Senior Survey that was done in 2020. So you might think that 55 is way too early to think about how, where, and when we suddenly became seniors. Thinking and planning about the future can be beneficial for each and every one of us. Juneau has some unique features that make caregiving both on the receiving and giving end more of a challenge than other locations. We live in a relatively small and isolated community, which is not navigable except by the Marine Highway. So with a relatively small population base of about 33,000 people, finding enough service workers to assist families with caregiving can be quite challenging. Often this job falls to family members, adult children, older teenagers, extended family, and sometimes neighbors and friends. So the Juneau Commission on Aging in their recent survey tried to get some ideas of what seniors thought that their needs were going to be. 5 important factors emerged as themes that were necessary for seniors as they contemplated their future to age in place. Number 1, affordable and appropriate housing, in-home care opportunities, specialty medical care availability, reasonable cost of living, and community support services. Right now in Juneau, about 76% of seniors live in their own homes. And we think this reflects the younger seniors' desire to what we call age in place. And older seniors age 75 and over seem to be moving away from home ownership, and oftentimes home maintenance expenses and responsibilities can be overwhelming. When a decision is made by a senior and their family to look for alternate housing to meet current health and safety needs, it's natural to think of a place perhaps known as residential supported living, assisted living, long-term care, and nursing homes, depending on the degree of need. One ongoing problem in Juneau is the relatively short supply of these places. There are apartment complexes such as Fireweed, Trillium Landing, and Mountain View. But these are all independent living situations for seniors, and while they're handicap accessible, no other type of assistance is available. There's one new facility, Riverview Assisted Living, that's scheduled to open in early spring in Juneau. And I think there'll be about 52 studio and 1-bedroom apartments and 28 or so memory care units. Is that right? Okay. This is a wonderful addition to our community and it's very much needed. However, the cost will be substantial and likely out of range for consideration by a fair number of seniors who would benefit from the care and oversight that will be provided. At this time, there are plans to have 4 to 6 units that would be Medicaid eligible. Well, we've heard for many years about the silver tsunami. That's the influx of baby boomers into the ranks of seniors, and that phenomenon is now a reality. So right now, there's a great need for more places like Riverview to address the needs of the aging seniors who become unable to live in their own home safely. As more seniors find it necessary to remain in their homes, the families, if they reside locally, are called on to help with household chores, assistance with finances, yard work, transportation, grocery shopping, medical appointments, and the personal challenges that come with aging. I recently spoke with a lady named Betty, who is about 74 and is the primary caregiver for her husband, Buzz, who just celebrated his 87th birthday. This is a real couple. He is alert, funny, interested in current events, fairly spry, and loves to watch old cowboy movies. He also has a poor appetite, needs a lot of rest, doesn't want to exercise, and has to be coaxed to drink enough water for his well-being. Buzz and Betty spend most of their time at home, and fortunately, there are no stairs. Does have a big yard that needs tending to between February and October. Buzz cannot do any yard work, and Betty's back pain keeps her from getting on the mower, so that is a big problem. I asked her about some of the concerns that she had about her caregiving responsibilities, and she said the stress of 24/7 care and oversight was pretty significant, and that she had her own health issues to consider. She feels tired all of the time. Her daughter-in-law and son live outside of Haines and come to Juneau just every few months, and they can't provide much additional care to give her some time off. This is a common theme for aging couples in Juneau, and the community resources are limited. We can offer them Meals on Wheels to help out with the midday meal Monday through Friday. For each of them, we have the Bridge program available for seniors to visit, play games, be entertained, and have lunch together. One important consideration is the support and assist to the caregivers, who are the vital link in the care of seniors. Sometimes these are spouses, and sometimes it's the adult children in the family who have to step in and provide the care. At Southeast Senior Services, we are able to offer caregiver support with respite care, education and information, counseling services, and access to the senior and in-home grants, as well as services in the community. We offer case management to help families pull together the pieces of the care situation and help them access necessary services and outreach. Doris and Denny were both in their late 70s when a health crisis and hospitalization made them realize it was time to explore the next step in their independence. Denny had an illness that caught him by surprise, and he was hospitalized for several days. And when he returned from the hospital, he was weak and in need of several weeks of recuperation and care. Fortunately, this couple had been in conversation with their children and about their wishes and fears. They'd made the decision to move to a smaller home that didn't need so much upkeep, was centrally located close to their two sons. As Doris told me, fortunately, we were able to make the transition less traumatic, and our whole family worked hard to make things work. The tipping point came when Denny had to come home from the hospital with a walker and needed hands-on assistance along with frequent medical checkups. That job fell to the two sons to take him to his appointments, to see what mom was doing, and just help the couple day by day. This couple was able to find some in-home services to help them move through the initial weeks of rehabilitative care for Denny, to assist Doris with some of the household responsibilities, as she needed to provide more intensive caregiving to her husband. In addition, their neighbors looked in on them, provided some meals, helped Doris do some grocery shopping, and helped the couple keep a positive outlook as they worked towards going back to their independent lifestyle. This is what you could call best case scenario, and is usually the exception and not the rule, especially with the current conditions in Juneau, where we have a pretty serious lack of in-home service workers to help people. It's challenging, difficult, and expensive to downsize to a dwelling with the amenities desirable to have on hand, such as no stairs, wide doorways, walk-in showers, handicapped safety bars and bathtubs and shower areas. Imagine the difficulties of downsizing from a 3 to 4 bedroom house to a condo, for instance, or a smaller 2-bedroom home. 30 to 40 years or more of possessions, mementos, and just plain stuff takes a lot of time and energy to sort and then save or toss. It is an emotional journey for many people and equally difficult for other family members. One of the consequences of the recent pandemic has been the reduction in working staff for many companies and organizations, and that shortage is really acutely felt here in Juneau, where both of the service providing agencies report lack of workers who provide direct in-home services such as chore, respite, and personal care assistance. But what about seniors who live alone and don't have family members close by to help with these life decisions? And what if they live in small apartments not set up with the safety features important for seniors? What if their income isn't enough to allow them to move to a residential supported living situation, such as the Pioneers Home System or locally managed assisted living facility? How will they be able to make the right decision regarding their long-term living and health care choices? Many of our seniors face these less than ideal living conditions, and there are no easy answers. A very important part of acknowledging the challenge of aging is for families to have conversations before an emergency situation arises. So Buzz and Betty, they had no conversations with their kids. Denny and Doris, another real couple, did have that opportunity, and their sons were able to step up and help them. This can be an important and difficult, painful conversation. Seniors need to have an active part in the conversation. It's their life that's going to be changing. Caregivers are also an essential part of planning and strategizing. It can be really hard to think about giving up any kind of independence and change our worldview, and honest, heartfelt conversations are a good start. One of the most difficult conversations is about stopping driving. It's a very difficult, sensitive, especially in a community where we're so independent, and we know seniors are so independent. So couple number 3, Maudie and Michael, were married for many years, and they enjoyed retirement in a nice one-level home overlooked a peaceful lake up north. They were active in their community, and some of Michael's hobbies were gardening, landscaping, and drawing. Maudie was busy with her friends, her home, and crafts. She was so busy she had to keep an appointment book. This was where they were determined to spend their retirement years taking care of each other. But Mike's untimely diagnosis of cardiac issues and his passing left Maudie in a quandary. Their 2 adult children lived about 2 to 3 hours away by car, and they were, as many families, working, raising their children, and trying to help other members in the extended family. Maudie relates she has had many conversations since Michael passed with her children, both of whom would prefer she move closer, move in with them, maybe move into a tiny home on their property, or find a nice assisted living home in the area. She admits she struggles with the upkeep of the house, with the many expenses involved, and the relative isolation. At the same time, she cherishes her independence and is not ready to make a decision, and so she struggles. These are very difficult and life-altering decisions, and her children, who see themselves as her caregivers, want her to be happy, but they're impatient. They don't want to wait until she has a fall or she sets the kitchen on fire. So what can we conclude from this information and the stories of these seniors as it relates to caregiving in Juneau or in Southeast Alaska? Everybody's story is unique. Juneau is lacking some of the essential services and living arrangements that likely would be found in larger communities. Communication and conversation between families is crucial in being able to develop a plan for aging safely and with dignity. It's never too early to begin long-term planning. It's important to be a bit flexible as we look into the future. Compromise and negotiation are essential tools to navigate through some of the difficult situations. At Southeast Alaska Senior Services, we stand ready to help you have those conversations, and we strive to assist you with goals and hopes for the future. A great place to get information is pick up a copy of the 2020 Senior Survey. You'll find out in more detail what seniors want. I went through it, and what seniors want is staying in their homes, being safe, and staying a part of the community. And so some of the things that we have really emphasized is staying healthy by eating right, by socialization, by exercising, by taking a Tai Chi class, which we offer for free to help your balance so you don't fall. Accidental falls is the leading cause of death for people over the age of 65. And when people fall and break their hip, for instance, 40% are never able to return to independent living. So that is really important. So, and if you can't stand up and take Tai Chi, we have seated Tai Chi classes, which are remarkably effective. So that concludes my presentation. I think in summary, we have to be creative. We have to be flexible. As seniors, we need to be an active part of the conversation with our families. And then we have to reach out and strategize and problem solve and see where we can make changes or add things to our life to make them more productive. But it's good to know that seniors are a valuable asset, and I wish that more people thought that. I think they don't realize how much we contribute to Alaska in many different ways. Any questions?
I thought your presentation was perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Very valuable.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I actually have a question.
Yes.
A lot of being prepared for caregiving for a senior is doing the preparation, having the conversation. But I think that people put that off because it's like, oh, mom's not old enough yet. She's not there. Do you have an age or any indicators that maybe like you should start having these conversations?
I'm thinking within my own family, some of the dynamics there, because when I was a young teenager, both of my grandmothers came to live with us. We closed off one area in the living room for my one grandmother, who was 90, and then the other grandmother was downstairs on the main floor, just right by my bedroom, and it all landed in our lap like that. And there were 6 of us in the house. One bathroom, 6 plus the 2 grandmas. So that was a real challenge. And we sometimes feel that we're pretty invincible, that nothing's going to happen to us and that we're going to be able to just.
Every day is a blessing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But
I always believe.
all it takes is one fall. And I mean, I could go on about that. And I've taught fall prevention workshops and how to get up when you've fallen. Yeah, so I had to try that on myself several months ago. I had to go through the steps, and I added an extra step to it. You have to be willing to experience a little pain as you go through the steps, but victory will be yours. And we've taught this many times to different senior groups. And like Daisy, if you took a spill, would you know how to get up?
Well, I already taken several.
Can you get
broken here?
Oh my, yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah.
And Parkinson's,
yeah.
which means for exercise, but anyone that's got Parkinson's.
Yes,
they're all staying back and-
Yeah.
and-
we presented this workshop to the Parkinson support group. Yeah. So, any questions online, Denny?
I just repeated the question.
Oh.
Yeah, but that was.
I think it's great, you know.
Oh, when did you do? Oh, when did you do?
That was me.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
No,
I see no questions in the chat.
I've talked about it with my kids probably for the last 15 years. What are you going to do, Mom? What are you going to do? Well, nothing. What are you going to do, Mom? Well, this is my plan. Good plan. And we talk about it every few months. But then, you know, life gets in the way and we just don't know. We don't know. So it's good. It's good to know the resources available in the community. And I don't want to imply that you can't get services in Juneau. It's difficult. The agencies work very hard to get workers. The workers do their best. But it's good to have a network of neighbors and friends. Some of them have been the most wonderful caregivers, because we're all caregivers, because we see people and we are concerned about them. So everybody's a caregiver. One little thing, believe it or not, it's called a lifeline. And if you live alone and have a lifeline, that puts people's mind at ease. They're easy to obtain. You just have to wear them.
You just have to wear it.
You just have to wear it.
I could,
Yes.
Add to this as
Yeah.
far as communicating with family members, because I recently just met a couple in Sitka, a retired couple, adult children, and they've all gathered, and the, parents they're in the process of gathering a 5-year plan for their adult children. So they're gathering information in Juneau. They live in Sitka, they're gathering information in Sitka. They traveled down south and they've looked at different assisted living homes down there. They want to stay in Sitka ideally, but it also depends on what their needs are.
Yeah.
Right now, they're fine, but they are in the process of creating this 5-year plan for their children, which is kind of a non-aggressive way of approaching the subject. You know, we know you don't need it now, but let's talk about it and let's see what you can find and what would you like, where they still have the opportunity to decide what they would like.
Well, it's really important to talk about those kinds of sensitive things before there's an emergency. When people feel panicked or pressured, it's like, I talked to a lot of people about powers of attorney form, advanced healthcare directives. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Well, if you don't talk about it, your wishes will not be heeded. If you want people to do what you want, write it down. If it isn't written down, it's not going to happen. And it's surprising the number of seniors who do not have power of attorney forms or advanced healthcare directives. And they're easy to do, they're simple to put into effect. So we try to take the panic and the sense of doom out of these kinds of things that impact your life. And we're all in the same, we're all riding the same waves. Some of us are in lifeboats, some of us are in dinghies, and some of us are on yachts, but the water raises and lowers. So if you can get yourself into a seaworthy craft, your chances are better. Yeah.
I think, there's no one else online other than like Danny and I and Jennifer, so we
Oh.
can stop recording and keep talking.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, you're very welcome. Yeah. Gosh, I had so many pages. I thought this is going to take forever. It was so much fun.